Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next movie review and back to reviewing of the Lethal Weapon movies. And now we'll be reviewing of Lethal Weapon 3, released in 1992, and once again another great sequel. Now I would put Lethal Weapon 3 above Lethal Weapon 2. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Lethal Weapon 2. It's a great sequel, But this one I think had this bit more going for it, I would say. Maybe it's a hard thing to say though, but I think this one had more going for it than the second film. Well, once again, Danny Glover and Mel Gibson come back as Martin Riggs and Roger Murtaugh. Joe Pesci comes back as Leo Getz. Eva Steve Kahan, who plays Captain Murphy, he comes back as well. As rest of Danny Glover's family, they do. Richard Donner comes back to direct. The music by Michael Kamen, Eric Clapton, David Siobhan come back to do the music. And I thought it was another worthwhile sequel, And this one, like I said, I think it had the action, the whole setting of this film. I think I liked better than the second film, though. Like the first film, yeah, like drug dealers and such, like with Gary Busey and Mitchell Ryan. The second film, you had the South African diplomats with Josh Ackland and Derek O'Connor. Here, you have it's Dirty Cops. The main villain of the Dirty Cops, played by Stuart Wilson, and also you have Rene Russo. Introducing Rene Russo comes in as Lana. So, which I thought Rene Wilson also worked well with Mel Gibson as well, especially later on. But always Mel Gibson's always trying to go back and forth with Rene Russo, so that played off very well too. And that's also it's like minus end credits. It's under 2 hours, but it all goes at a very fast pace. I didn't think it was not boring at all. I mean, the opening of this film right off the bat, it's with Riggs and Murtaugh. They go to this place where there's a bomb in this building, and and bomb squad's on the way. But of course, with Martin, thinking he's like, oh, okay, let's just do it anyway, right? And so, but Dan goes like, no, let's just wait for the bomb squad. And when they go in, they see that there's this car with this big bomb in there, and there's a cat that jumps on the hood, and the car is sure which wire to cut, the blue wire or is it the red wire, right? And Mel Gibson cuts the red one and then starts coming out very fast. Then he goes and tells Danny Glover, Raj, grab the cat, and they both run out. And then immediately, big explosion, practical, physical explosion, and the whole building just comes down, not CGI. Like I said before, with the Lethal Weapon movies, a lot of they do a lot of great stunt work, a lot of good practical explosions, fires, whatever. All done for real, which I do appreciate with these movies. Now, I keep on saying, nowadays, the stuff like this would be completely CGI, like a CGI building falling down. It would be. But I do appreciate that. Yeah, the actual explosion, actual building coming down, and then afterwards, the bomb squad just shows up, and then all the other cops, they just look at him like, give him the clap, And that because now they've been busted down to doing patrol on the streets, and also that Danny Glover has like a week before retirement, so it was like 7 days and I'm patrolling, and it's like you should cut the red wire. I did cut the red wire. What? I meant to cut the blue wire. No, that's what I meant. And then they get to pull this little silly thing with they see a guy jaywalking, Mel Gibson scaring the guy with a gun, and like I said, once again the film between Mel Gibson and Danny Glover still works great, It still works. And then they see an armored car, and they see another one pull up, and in reverse to the first armored car, they're a bunch of crooks. And they shoot and get a nice, decent car chase as well. Like, Mel Gibson's finding the guys in the first car, and then Danny Glover is with this other armored car with this woman that she's hitting on him. That's pretty funny. And then by the time, and then the guy crashes through the windshield, and Mel Gibson knocks him down. It's like, you have the right to remain unconscious. Anything you say ain't gonna be much. And when he wakes up and is like, okay, boom, back to bed. Knocks the guy out again. And then and when I find out the where they're interviewing some other cops, right, at the shooting range, they demonstrate that with a bulletproof vest, one of the guys they arrested had some armor-piercing bullets, cop killers. And to another funny when they want to take Danny Glover want Danny Glover to use his bulletproof vest as the demonstration, they see he's wearing a girdle, and they're all making fun of him. They're like, "Oh, I busted myself lifting weights." So with Danny Glover and Mel Gibson, it just works perfectly, right? It just does. And with Joe Pesci, he's worked in real estate, right? And they show up Danny Glover's house with some of the people, right? And then since full disclosure, he has to tell the truth of stuff of what happened in this house, right? So he mentions like the things from the previous two movies, right? Like, oh, the whole front of the window got replaced, right? Oh, because if a drug dealer came crashing through the window, shot the place, and it was like shh. Because in the first film, Gary Busey, he crashed through their window. And then he mentions the bathroom upstairs in the second movie because of the bomb incident. He mentions that, and then Danny Glover is getting all pissed about it. And when they leave, he's like, "I'm gonna kill Leo." And he's like, "I have to. It's the law." And Danny's like, I'm a cop. I'm the law." Oh boy. And then when reduced with Rene Russo from Eternal Affairs and the bad guy Stuart Wilson, he used to be he's a dirty cop, right? So he goes and kills that one guy that they arrested, and they find out that Steve Kahan knows who he is, and then they get this incident at the hockey rink. We find where is that because Joe Pesci said he knows the guy, so he goes to the hockey rink. They find him, but he gets away, but shoots Leo though in the shoulder. But and then when Mel Gibson when they take him to the hospital, they write something down. It's like, hey, he needs what's the thing? Not a lobotomy, but down not up here though, but down below, right? And it's like, well, you can't do this, Leo. It's like, sure we can. And then you get this the previous movies have dark moments, like the third act. The second film was dark, even the first film. Well, I thought it was kind of a dark moment though. Like it was like it kept it consistent with the movie though, but I thought it was a really tragic thing because Mel Gibson and Danny Glover, well, first of all, with Mel Gibson, Danny Glover's trying to get Mel Gibson to stop smoking, right? So he gives him some doggy treats. Or when he goes to this little burger place, like from a guy he knows, Danny Glover knows, he's like, here, chew on this. Tells him, chew on an onion. But Mel Gibson sees like a couple of kids, like in this gang, they go shooting at him, and then Danny Glover, he kills a kid, but it was in self-defense though. And it turns out that the kid that he shot it was a friend of his son's. And he gets all so distraught about it, and he feels really bad at what he did though. But the thing is though, the kid was shooting at them. It was on self-defense though. But in his mind though, he feels guilty and is so distraught what happened that because before retirement he shot a kid, And especially it was a son. It was a son of his. It was a friend of his son's. And so he disappears for a bit because he doesn't come home, and in which those guns that they were using had those armor-piercing bullets in it, So it was coming from the same dirty cops who were selling these guns that has all these armor-piercing bullets in it, and then Mel Gibson, bonding more with Rene Russo. Like they go to this place where they try to bust some people, and there was this dog, this Rottweiler. Like Mel Gibson does, it's like imitating like what the dog does, and and wins the dog's trust, and ultimately that dog comes with them, so Mel gets himself another dog, because with his other dog, his collie Sam, and then this other dog that's with them, this Rottweiler, because you see that dog is with his other dog in the fourth film, so yeah. And then when they go back to Rene Russo's place, that it shows like how much they have a lot in common, because she also likes the Three Stooges as well. Because on the computer she has a Three Stooges game, so she's a fan of them as well. And I like how they're always they're comparing scars to comparing each other's as scars they have, bullet wounds or whatever, or cuts or whatever. And that was a nice scene. And then when he goes to find Danny Glover on his boat, and he's drunk, and he wants to shoot. Are you gonna shoot me? And then Mel Gibson puts his finger in the barrel of the gun. He's like, there. I was like, yeah, but I'll blow your finger off. And he goes and hits him, and he's like, not bad for an old man. And they just tussle each other, because he's saying that, he shot the kid, still feels bad about it. And then they toss each other off in the water, and then some police on patrol in the water say, hey, they say, hey, we're on a case. A scotch. And then they go to that kid's funeral, and then they dig up more guys more gangs who are involved with these guns, and then with Stuart Wilson takes Captain Murphy and all these other cops with her, smuggle all these guns, and Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, Rene Russo, and this young kid, this young cop, he's a rookie, right? We saw him earlier at the shooting range. He shoots pretty well though, and he's a rookie cop, but he's also a kid too. So then Stuart Wilson shoots him. He tried to hide behind a barrel, but he has armor-piercing bullets, so he shoots through the barrel and through his vest. So. And that was another sad one, because Mel Gibson was like, because also it was that kid's birthday on that day as well, so died on his birthday, and Mel Gibson says, "Happy birthday, kid." Yeah, because he was only 22, so another kid. Because like Mel Gibson, Danny Glover sees his vest has been pierced, and he's like, another baby. Yeah, that was another sign. There's like a young kid, potential, and so he died on his birthday. That was another sad moment there. And then he has this one where Mel Gibson is chasing through the subway, like he's hanging on a subway car and he's shooting at the bad guys. Then he gets on the motorcycle chasing through this highway, and he slides. He tries to hold on, but he falls, and of course discloses his shoulder, so he does the whole relocates it again. And they ultimately it's also this big construction site where they're building all these houses at, and there's another fun gunfight, and where Mel Gibson drives the truck through the houses where he's leaking all the gas out and lights the whole place up, and Danny Glover because he does a spin kick on a guy because another funny moment where Mel Gibson tries to teach Danny Glover how to do a spin kick. He does it perfectly fine. When Danny Glover does it, he kicks the whole water jug over. That was also very funny too. He kicks the whole thing over, and everyone was like, "Oh man!" But he does. This time he does a spin kick. He kicks the guy. He's like, "Son of a bitch! It actually worked." Hey! Shoots the guy. He's like, "Stay there." Or another guy where he takes his little axe because he opens up a small crate of armor-piercing bullets. Another guy just throws the axe right at the guy's like, "Hold that." And then Mel Gibson, Stuart Wilson shoots Rene Russo, but this time he didn't have armor-piercing bullets. I don't know why he didn't have that on his gun, because she's wearing a vest and she's perfectly fine. And then Stuart Wilson tries to run over Mel Gibson with a bulldozer. Danny Glover throws because he has the same gun that the kid that he shot, Daryl was his name, his son's friend. He has his gun, tossed to Mel Gibson because he put piercing bullets in there, shoots it through the bulldozer, and penetrates through the bulldozer and kills him. And Stuart Wilson's like, "Go to hell, Riggs." Mel Gibson's like, "You first." And Rene Russo, she's fine. And then back at Danny Glover's house. You know, he's taking a bath, and his family is saying, give him cake, you know, happy retirement, though, but he said that he can't yet, not just yet. And then afterwards, where when he leaves, Mel Gibson and Danny Glover, they're here on the radio, there's another bomb scare, right? So, this time, Danny Glover's saying, hey, this time we're waiting for the bomb squad. And then after the credits, because this is a director's cut, like the second film, too, like, after the credits, where they arrive on the scene, but all of a sudden the building blows up, right? And then they're both like, oh, well, we're going to get blamed for this now. And Danny Glover, once again, I'm getting too old for this shit. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with Lethal Weapon 3. I think this is also one of the best one of the series. I mean, I like Lethal Weapon 4 too, though, and the second film, the first one though. But I think this one had a lot more going for. I mean, a lot of fun action sequences, like the armored car chase, and then the motorcycle chase on the highway, and then the opening with the whole building exploding, falling down, actually practical, done for real, which is appreciative, of course. But also works with the same chemistry. Mel Gibson and Danny Glover, the same chemistry have is still perfect together. Joe Pesci, he's still a lot of fun as well as Leo. Rene Russo introducing as well. She did a good job as well. Between him and her, Mel Gibson was worked well too. Stuart Wilson, I don't think he was not that bad of a villain in this. I mean, the first film, Gary Busey was a great bad guy. Josh Ackland was too. Diplomatic immunity. But, and even Jet Li in the fourth film, he was a good bad guy too. But I don't think that Stuart Wilson, I don't think he was not that bad of a villain in this as Jack Travis. You know, he was a just dirty cop, you know, smuggled all these guns along with these armor-piercing bullets. I don't think he was not that bad of a villain. I don't think so. Of course, this is 92. The next year he was starring Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, which better hero than that movie. But I think this is a very fun movie. I really enjoyed Lethal Weapon 3 a lot, and this was the highest grossing one of the series. So the fourth film came a bit short for this movie, though, but this was still the highest one in the series. And even in Demolition Man, if you watch Demolition Man in the police station, they have a poster of Lethal Weapon 3. That was nice to see. Which I'll have to review Demolition Man later on, because 1993, because 30 years of the year 1993, so I'll definitely have to review Demolition Man later down the road, because I love Demolition Man. Really fun. Even now, let's say underrated action film with Sylvester Stallone, you know. Great villain by Wesley Snipes. Sandra Bullock as well, I enjoy. So I'll have to definitely review Demolition Man later on down the road, because it makes the 30th anniversary of the year 1993. But Lethal Weapon 3, I think I love, you know. The cast does really well. Danny Glover, Mel Gibson, and though even some of the other stuff like the dark tones, like I said, but Danny Glover killed that kid because, you know, the thing is though, even though he didn't know it was his son's friend though, but they were shooting at them. It was self-defense, but he gets all distraught about it though. Or that young rookie cop, you know, who was very young rookie cop, but died on it was his birthday and he died, you know. And Mel Gibson's like, tell him, "Happy birthday, kid." That was sad too. But Lethal Weapon 3 had a lot of, and like I said, a lot of fun dialogue, especially the fun dialogue once again between Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. Still fun dialogue between each other. Fun humor. Like with the whole spin kick, and Danny Glover kicks over the water jug. That was funny. I was laughing. Oh boy. Yeah, I always got a kick of watching Lethal Weapon 3, so yeah. But that's Lethal Weapon 3. Love the sequel. And then afterwards, get into the fourth film next. But anyway, once again, thumbs up, you know. But thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the fourth movie, and we'll see you next time.